Let's talk about upsets, and then tomorrow talk about all the top 25 games. All my upsets this week are going to be ranked upsets. I know usually I have an outside one where it's a 2-1 team versus a 0-2 or whatever. All ranked upsets this week, and I think that's because I think these are the most likely, and also I really think, as I said yesterday, go watch yesterday's video, a lot of these teams are overrated. Some of them aren't overrated, but I think are on upset alert because they haven't truly been tested or other reasons. Let's go through those two teams that are through other reasons first. Number one, Florida State playing Virginia. Florida State played one real game. That was against Alabama. They looked great. They looked motivated. At the same time, there was the whole media press conference thing with Castellanos, and they were so awake for that game and so motivated. So it's like, was that the real Florida State? Was this a Florida State that maybe was manufactured to be that way just for one game? That's kind of what I question. So that's Friday night at 7 p.m. That's a must-watch game. But again, least likely and other circumstances is the reason I could see it happening. Maybe Florida State is not as awake or motivated for that game. But I do think it's unlikely. The other unlikely one is Saturday at 3:30 p.m. on the thumbnail. You're going to really be shocked to hear this. Iowa beating Indiana. The reason I mention this game is because I had Indiana losing 2 games this year. One of those losses that I had Indiana taking was following a humongous win against Penn State, where I said Indiana was gonna walk off Penn State with a field goal. It was gonna be a monumental, program-defining win. The one that just happened against Illinois was a program-defining win. Will Indiana be able to stay on their P's and Q's and not slouch and, we're cool, we're chilling, whatever, with Iowa? That's what worries me. That's why they are here. So again, both Indiana and Florida State, I think, are phenomenal, very great football teams. But I'm really interested to see, can they lock in, focus, and get the W's against real football opponents, right? These guys aren't great. I don't think Virginia and Iowa are great football teams, but they're good. And if you're not going to be great against the good, you will lose. So warning, warning, warning for those two teams. Next up, where is it? Georgia, Alabama, 7:30 p.m. This one right here is my second most likely. I almost picked it as the one to happen, but I do still think Georgia's really good. I had them as my number 2 overall in college football playoff. Alabama has gotten right, and I think they always have Georgia's number, but it's at Georgia, and at the same time, Bama, when they played the good Florida State team, right, the great Florida State team, they struggled. Will they struggle again? Georgia, very well coached, very smart team over there. So I still probably got Georgia. We'll see in tomorrow's video, but that's very likely, right? I'm going to put this one at number 2, Bama over Georgia. And secondly, and the one I see happening is another SEC matchup. I'm sure the spread in this game actually isn't crazy. Usually I wouldn't do this. But Ole Miss defeating LSU at Ole Miss. No way I could not pick this game. Ole Miss overall is just a very, very good team. I like their quarterback a lot. Their defense has looked better than it has been in the past. LSU has not impressed me since the beginning of the year. I mentioned yesterday they were the most overrated team, dang near in my opinion, other than Texas, in the whole country. And Ole Miss, I really don't think is getting talked about. I think they know that. I think they're motivated. We talk about waking up for a game. Ole Miss will wake up for this game, and they will knock off LSU. That is my upset of the week prediction. And one more honorable mention before we go. Washington at Washington has a real chance with Ohio State for about a half. So I'm not picking it, but it deserves me a third honorable mention. That's more in the case of, again, the Iowa, Indiana, the Florida State versus Virginia. That's one that, like, maybe. Ohio State hasn't played really anybody either. And you're thinking, well, look, they played Texas. Remember what I said, I don't think Texas is that good. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Tomorrow, predicting all the games. Later. Half my time is out.